everybody, Cece here, and thank you for tuning in to my Divine Appointment video series. I'm just getting in from the shop. I had a really busy day. We had so many brides who said yes to the dress, and I have spent the whole day getting them all ready for their fall weddings. And I hope my energy is high enough because I really have something important that I want to share with you all regarding the divine appointments that show up in our lives. You know, last week I talked about the link-ups, and that is the time where you can tell that you are encountering an actual divine appointment. And this week, I want to talk about something that I call the shake-up. And the shake-up is that time in our lives when things start shifting and changing. We're in the midst of a transformation, you know, but we're not really aware of it. That's the shake-up. And for those of you who may have had a chance to check out my talk or the talk that I gave at the Women Speak International Festival, I talked about how I had a really huge shakeup about 8 years ago. This is just a brief rundown. So my marriage was over. I had to give up my business. I lost my home, and I had no income. And then my mom passed away unexpectedly. And all of that happened within the same year. And even though it seemed as though everything was falling apart, it really was all falling into place. And someone on the outside looking in would have thought that, what in the world had I done to deserve all of that, But no, even when I was in the midst of it, I knew I was being positioned somehow to go higher. So I just want to tell you all this story about what happened after that was a part of my shake-up, which included a series of link-ups. And it led me to where I'm at right now. So while I was unemployed, well, first let me back up. So my mom passed away because she had fallen twice and injured her spine and had to have spinal surgery. And she spent time in a nursing home rehab facility, and some stuff happened, and that's where she ended up passing away unexpectedly. So anyway, now I'm in the midst of my unemployment right after this, and I seek employment with a temp agency, right? So the temp agency sends me on an assignment to a job at a place called the Indiana Spine Group. Now, I've been in fashion my whole life. I have never wanted to work in the medical field whatsoever. But I was desperate at the time, and I had no idea where they were going to send me. It just so happened they sent me to the Indiana Spine Group, right? That's divine appointment number one. So my position was, I was an assistant to a lady by the name of Sheetal. And we worked for a group of doctors who were conducting this rare spinal research project where they were doing these, they were testing this surgical procedure on patients, right? And I had been in the process of planning my move for me and my girls, or planning for me and my girls to move to Atlanta. And I wanted us to be down here in time for the first day of school. So I had been looking for places to live and applying at all of these different apartments, homes, whatever. Everybody was turning me down. And I even had hired a realtor, her name is Lisa, to help me find a place. And so everybody was turning me down because my credit had gone bad. I was working a temp service and I didn't have new employment lined up for once I got here. So they were like, yeah, that's really risky and we're not, interested in that. So it gets to be 2 weeks before it's time for us to move for the first day of school. And Lisa goes, all right, do you want me to start looking on Craigslist? I was like, whatever, Lisa, wherever we got to do, because we have to be there in 2 weeks for the first day of school. Now, mind you, I was looking for a home that was going to put us in a great school district where I have 3 daughters. I had one going into elementary for the first grade, one going into middle school for the first time, 7th grade, and one going into high school for the first time, 9th grade. And I needed all 3 of those schools to be on point. And it was difficult finding a place that I could afford that fit all 3 of those criteria. So anyway, she's like, okay, I'm gonna look on Craigslist. And she found this one place. And it was late in the evening when she told me about it. And she sent me the pictures and the description and everything. And oh my God, this place was so fly. It was a little bungalow style house. It had a loft in the back with a ladder that you climb up the ladder and go into the loft. It was so cute. And it was in the school district that I wanted to be in. And it was in my budget, which was a miracle. So I called them, or I text the man, and I'm like, okay, I see you're having an open house this weekend. I have got to get this house. I love this house. I want this house. I'll do whatever I need to do to get this house. Please don't have the open house this weekend because I know somebody's going to scoop it up, right? So he agrees to not have the open house if I pay a deposit and fill out the application right away. So the next day, because it was late that night, so the next day I call him and we do the application and everything, and he runs my credit and all of that, and he's like, you are high risk. You have really bad credit, you are working a temp job, and you have no job lined up for when you get here. What do you expect me to do with that? And I'm like, well, I am an honest person with integrity and high character and all of that stuff. You can call the place where I'm working at. It's the Indiana Spine Group. My boss's name is Shido. You can call her. She'll vouch for you. I have the money saved up so I can, pay whatever deposits are necessary. And I have a few months rent, all that. And he's like, you work at the where? And I was like, I work at the Indiana Spine Group. And my boss's name is Shido. Just call her. She'll talk to you. And he's like, wait a minute. I told him, and he's familiar. Okay, so wait. He says, wait a minute. I work on that very same spinal research project as a nerve monitor. And I travel around to different medical practices working for them on their surgeries. And I have been trying to get a contract with the Indiana Spine Group forever. I was like, shut up. And then he goes on to say, and guess what? My sister's name is Sheetal. I was like, shut the front door. Now, how likely is that? This man is working on the same spinal research project that I'm working for. He has been trying to get a contract with this particular practice, and his sister's name is Sheetal. Now, how many people do you know with the name? I mean, I guess, some people might know that name, but I had never heard that name before. So he's like, okay, I'm feeling the vibe. I'm feeling the connection. He was with it too. We were both like, whoa. And he's like, all right, I'll give you a chance. You just got to pay all this extra money and I'll let you live in the house. And I was like, whoa, okay. So anyway, I signed the lease. I paid the money. He let us move down. We moved sight unseen, right? But I had Lisa, my realtor, come and check it out. And she, you know, did all the paperwork and stuff for me. And we drove to town, came, and everything was all good. The neighborhood was beautiful. The area was beautiful. The house was super cool. And we lived there for the next 2 years. And so that's my story of the link-ups and the shake-ups, and how when everything seemed to be falling apart, it really was falling in place for my good. And I know how scary that time is for people. I mean, back before I was aware that the universe was speaking to me and sending me guidance every step of the way, I would freak out every time changes started happening in my life and things started mixing up and falling away. But I mean, I'm here to tell you that every time something starts shifting and changing for me, I get excited, because I'm constantly planning my life, praying to God, meditating, and just, you know, wanting to go higher and grow all the time. And so whenever things start shifting and changing for me, I know it's just a matter of time that I'm about to be in the next level of my highest self. So I just wanted to give that message to you guys, because I know so many people who go through that and they think everything is falling apart. And I just want you to know, no ma'am or no sir, everything is falling just right into place for your good. And that if you can just take a deep breath, hold on, and when you get to the other side, it will be more than you could have ever imagined. So that's my tip for the day, is to embrace the shake-up and have patience and step into your greatness, and don't be afraid, because life is so darn good. All right? All right. Okay, thank you guys for listening. I'm going to take me some time out and recover from my day, and I'll see you guys next Sunday. Peace out.